Truest Christmas episodes I ever watched. Even as a kid, I was just like, wow. Even that hit hard. Because this is real talk with K.M.B. So we gotta talk about real stuff. Um the iCarly Christmas episode. That 1. Let's get started. Back to Real Talk with K.M.B. We still on the Christmas segment. You guys already know Christmas is just around the corner. I think it's honestly next week. Wow, it's flying by. Okay, but today we are going to talk about Christmas episodes. If you guys didn't watch the recent pod, we talked about Christmas movies and how they relate to our lives, because they do. You know, we all got that Christmas spirit. We all got those holidays to go to, the Christmas Eves, the Christmas days. You know, especially as a kid, Christmas was one of the best holidays ever. And today, that is what we're going to talk about. Today, we are going to talk about how, as a kid, Christmas episodes used to be one of the best episodes ever. You know, if you guys grew up in the early 2000s, or if you were born in the early 2000s and you grew up in the 2010s, you know what Disney Channel was like when it was holiday season. When you heard, what was that one thing on Disney Channel? The, what was it, like Ho 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 or something like that? It was like Phenomena, or I don't know how it went, but like everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you went to Disney Channel during the holiday seasons, like Monstober and all that, but we're not talking about Halloween. We're done with that segment. We're done. That's 2 months ago, dude. Today we're going to talk about Christmas, and let's just say Disney Channel has some bangers on bangers of Christmas episodes. Cartoon Network did its thing on Christmas. Nickelodeon did its thing on Christmas. Christmas was one of the best times to just be on the couch and watch Christmas episodes. Yeah, you can watch Christmas movies too, of course, but you know if a Christmas episode dropped and it was your favorite show, you know that was one of the best episodes to watch around that time, because can you miss that spirit, you know? Honestly, I do. I miss staying up for the night just to watch that one Christmas episode, you know? And then they repeat the same then they repeat the same Christmas episode throughout the whole month, but you know, you had to stay up to just watch that new episode. But I'm going to talk about some of the best Christmas episodes. I'm sure a lot of your guys' favorite Christmas episodes aren't going to be on here. But, you know, this is my list, and this isn't a top 5. This is just me saying, like, I think that these episodes were very good, and I really like the storyline, so I put them on my list. We're going to start off with one of, honestly, the truest Christmas episodes I ever watched. Even as a kid, I was just like, wow. Even that hit hard. Because this is real talk with K.M.B. So we gotta talk about real stuff. The iCarly Christmas episode. That is what I'm talking about. You know, Spencer was this crazy brother he made. If no one ever seen iCarly, you must have lived under a rock growing up, but still. Her brother Spencer was this guy that, you know, made weird art sculptures. He did all sorts of weird stuff and all that, and then he made this one Christmas present for Carly, and it caught on fire. And she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed by her own brother that he is like this. She didn't like the fact that he was goofy. She didn't like the fact that how creative he was, and he was just not normal, as she said it. And she made a Christmas wish that he was normal. And everybody wishes something about somebody that you wish they didn't have that quality, but you don't realize on how special that quality is of that person until it's gone. And that's what Carly learned from this episode. She learned the fact that if her brother was normal, she wouldn't have the same friends as she did. She would have a weird boyfriend. She would not have the guy that always chases after her not chase after her anymore. And then he's in a controlled relationship and she's not even friends with him anymore. She even lost her own best friend because her best friend was a troublemaker. And her brother, because he was normal, didn't want her to hang around. She lost her whole life, changed because of that one wish. And that's where the saying is, careful what you wish for. Because it's a very true saying. Imagine waking up in a opposite reality than your life is, and you don't like it. That's where again you have to appreciate what you have. You don't realize it until it's gone. I'm the older I get, the more I realize that, now my relatives are passing away. These people you don't realize that you never would have thought you would have been at their funeral, you are at their funeral. It's everything is changing the way how you get older, and now that episode probably even hits harder that you're older. So just be grateful for what you have, and that's what you learn from that episode. It's already got deep, but again, this is Real Talk with K.M.B, and we got to get deep, bro. That is one of the truest episodes I ever watched of iCarly. And then, so now we're going to talk about Christmas at the Tipton. I think I said that wrong. As I said it before, I think you guys all know, I was a huge fan of Sweet Light Zach and Cody, bro. Zach and Cody was lit, bro. I so wanted to live in a hotel because of them. I so wanted a twin brother because of them. The wild adventures that they got in and stuff like that. I'm being honest, I don't really remember much of the plot of the episode. I just remember a power outage happened. They were stuck in the hotel. It was pitch black, and then somebody delivered a baby, and it was some like Christmas story thing. Like I said, I don't remember it that much. And I bet a lot of people are wondering then, why did you put it on the list if you don't remember it that much and stuff like that? I'm just saying is how much Disney Channel used to hit back in the day. Dude, the storylines were so incredible on just their episodes in general. But again, during the holidays is when, like, I don't know how Disney Channel did it, but they did it, bro. They did it right. They had collaborations. They had just such good storylines and kept the kids entertained, and your show was a hit when you got a Christmas episode. Let's just be honest. And Zach and Cody, you're one of them. Your show was a hit, dude. I wish the Sprout Brothers are watching this now. I'm just saying you guys carried Disney Channel back in the early 2000s. But another show that we're going to talk about. If you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of this show. It's called Friends. One of my favorite episodes is the Holiday Armadillo. This show has me always laughing, but this episode is something else. It has a very good meaning behind it too. First, we're gonna just talk about how funny this episode is, bro. The fact that like he dresses up as some random character named the Holiday Armadillo. Ross did. If you guys never seen that episode, I'll explain it. And then Joey just dresses up as Superman for some reason, and then Phoebe just she carries it at the end. If anyone ever seen that episode, but let me talk about it real fast. So in this episode, Ross has his son over. His son's name is Ben. Ben always celebrates Christmas with his mom, but this year Ross wants to teach him about Hanukkah because Ross is Jewish and Ben is Ross's son, so that makes Ben Jewish if you can't do genetics or if you don't know how genetics works. But so Ross wants to teach Ben about Hanukkah, but Ben refuses not to. He just wants Christmas, because that's what he knows. He wants the gifts. And I said it before, Christmas isn't about gifts, but the older you get, you should realize that stuff. But still, so Ben's like I think 8 or something like that. Ben he wants gifts, and then at one point Ross is telling him about Hanukkah, and Ben's like, did I do something wrong? And Ross is like, no. So he keeps on trying to teach Ben Hanukkah, but Ben's not listening. So Ross instead, one day before Christmas, tries to buy a Santa suit, and the person that works at the store, the costumes, I was like, dude, like, this one day before Christmas, why would I have a Santa suit? It makes sense. So Ross gets this armadillo suit, right? Ben is like, what the heck is going on here? Like, what are you? And he's like, I'm the Holiday Armadillo. I'm Santa's friend. Like, Santa sent me over here to help you. Like, he just want. And then he started talking about Hanukkah. again, he just wants to teach his kid about Hanukkah, his traditions and all that. And Ben is still, Ben finally got into it. He's like, okay, what you got for me, Holiday Armadillo? What is Hanukkah? Next you know, Chandler swoops in the room, comes in as Santa, right? And then steals the show. Next thing you know, Ben's like, get out of here, Armadillo. And all that. And then thankfully, Chandler, as a good friend, was like, yo, let me hear about Hanukkah. What you gotta say? And then Joey just swoops in as Superman for some reason. That's just random. But again, it's why I'm saying this episode is just, it does kind of got a good meaning, I mean, I don't celebrate Hanukkah myself, as a follower of Christ, I celebrate Christmas. True meaning, King Jesus. It's his birthday. But what I'm saying is though is that, all Ross wanted to do was just teach his kid about something, but his kid didn't want to learn about his background, his traditions. That me as a person that wants to be a future parent, that's I wanna teach my kids about Christmas. Like I hope they do. I hope they listen and not just be like, shut up, Dad, basically. I I hope they don't. I hope they actually listen and actually know again the true meaning behind Christmas and not just gifts. But yeah, so that and the episode is pretty funny, like I said. So you should guys definitely check it out, if you want to. If you guys are into sitcoms, another show I'm going to talk about again. If you were, sorry, if you guys were a kid in the 2010s, I'm sure you remember this collab because it was probably the collab of the year when Good Luck Charlie and Jesse met up with each other. Bro, when Disney Channel just did that in general, when they had all the shows combining with each other, the crossovers, you knew that episode was gonna be lit, bro. You knew that episode was gonna be insane. And when they did that with Good Luck Charlie and Jesse, their biggest shows at the time, coming together, blew our minds. I don't really remember the plot that much, but if we're being honest, if I know the two shows, I know that episode was hilarious. I think Jesse was stuck in jail or something like that. It could have been a different Christmas episode, but I don't know. I don't really remember the plot, but all I'm saying is, like, bro, Disney Channel, you guys carried our childhood. All you networks did, Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network especially. Dude, that was it, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure kids nowadays grow up watching a bunch of streaming services that has to do with Christmas, but I'm sorry, when that Christmas episode was on TV, you had to sit down and watch it. It wasn't just in the palm of our hands as it is now. Another show that I'm going to talk about is SpongeBob. There is a certain SpongeBob episode that I remember as a kid that really kind of what's the word? Relates to some people. There's an episode where SpongeBob, he loves Christmas. SpongeBob is joy, dude. Like, let's be honest. He is joy. He just wants to spread Christmas. He wants to go Christmas caroling. He wants to just spread joy. And his neighbor Squidward, if anybody ever saw SpongeBob, Squidward. He was this grumpy guy. And he didn't like Christmas. And SpongeBob didn't understand that. Like, how do you not like Christmas? And the sad part is, I mean, in the end of the episode, I think Squidward did join in on Christmas. But the point is, what I'm getting at is, it's kind of sad there is actually people out there that are bah humbugs. There are people out there that actually don't like Christmas and don't celebrate Christmas or don't have it with their families or just despise the holiday. It's just, why, dude? Like, I think every year, every month is the most wonderful time. I don't, you can argue with me all you want. I think we should enjoy every month as it is. But again, just be okay with Christmas, okay? Like, it's just, people are happy. Let them be happy. I don't know what this bah humbug is, but yeah, I think we should spread joy, more joy around Christmas. But this is Real Talk with K.M.B. I'm glad you guys listened to my tangents, my rants. If you guys' favorite Christmas episode wasn't in this, I'm sorry. You know, maybe K.M.B. might do another Christmas episode about TV shows. We don't know. We don't know what goes on in K.M.B.'s mind. But K.M.B. is out. Peace.